cuties. If no one has told you already today, I want you to know that we are proud of you. For those of you that are new, welcome. I am Jem, and in today's pick a card reading, we are going to be discussing what are some compliments being said behind your back. So, in pick a card readings, you could view them how you like. You could watch the whole video, or you could pick whatever catches your eye, as long as you take what resonates and leave the rest. Disclaimer, this is for entertainment purposes only. You can decide your own future, and you have your own free will. Also know that every reader reads differently. I tend to read quite candidly and honest, so there may be some deep messages. Before we hop right into the video, I want to let you guys know the different ways you could help out my channel. One is by subscribing, giving it a like, and another is checking out my Depop where I sell personal readings. Linked in the description. It is 20 minutes of any deck that you see on my channel, unlisted on YouTube for your eyes only. Also, I have an Amazon wish list of desired decks. If you are feeling generous, know that any donations are extremely appreciated but not expected, and I thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. So, I shuffled the archetypes, the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, and so we have 3 piles here, pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. I'm going to go into what each card is. So when I pulled these cards, I asked what are some compliments for each pile. So something specific for pile 1, I'll show the thumbnail. For pile 1, we have the Bardo. So the Bardo is basically it's like the transition from one perspective or one reality to another. It's almost like you're transitioning between 2 realities and you're in the middle. You're like right in between these 2 circles and you're like in the middle, and it's like uncomfortable because it's like you're transitioning, but it's also like there's so much information and like things being gathered. It's almost like you're in a period of time that anything is possible. For example, like forgiving the unforgivable, for saying the things that must be said or haven't been said, or just things that you never could imagine were possible. It's like your perspective is in the transition of changing. It's like anything is possible at this point. Any change is possible. So this could be something specific about you, is some compliments being said behind pile 1's back. Could be definitely that pile 1 is in a very transitional, transformative period of time where where literally anything is possible for this person. Like literally anything is possible. You could definitely be making a lot of people second guess, or like they never know what you could do next. There's always like something new that you end up pulling out of your sleeve. Surprising people, and it's almost like you could be getting more comfortable with being in this transition. I think also with this card I pulled the word dream, and this talks about being able to connect to other dimensions / realities that for example, like your future lifetimes or future experiences you may have, or people that you may have lost in your life or haven't even spent the time period with them yet, you may be having dreams about. So it's like in your dreams, it's almost like you're connecting to these realities or these different experiences because they're going to happen in the future, or it's like in a way it's like you're connecting with something in the dream world. So if that resonates, pick pile 1. We have also like this little eye. This looks like an eye with like skulls around it. And we have the letter L. So L like could be an initial. Next we have the womb for pile 2. Here's the thumbnail for pile 2. So basically the womb talks about delving into more of a feminine, more of a nurturing, loving, warm time. Like just becoming more, tapping into your more feminine divine, I think, or just a more feminine side. I think this message, you could be, for whoever picks pile 2, could be tapping into more of a feminine side to them, being more nurturing, being more compassionate. I think this pile could definitely be for someone who maybe thinks more logically, less compassionate, and it's like you're in the transition, or possibly trying to be more nurturing or compassionate to people. The word that popped up, I think, was crap. I think it was like something like a little analytical, like very logical thinking, thinks very logically rather than emotionally. It's like they think very cold-heartedly, and it's like almost like something that people could be saying behind pile two's back is that they're becoming more kind and compassionate and loving. And also a mother, possibly a mother, becoming a mother, delving into motherhood, something like that. Okay, so for pile three, here's the thumbnail. Pile three is more talking about the ring and how it's almost like everything is connected, and it's like an endless cycle. It's just like everything always constantly repeats. It's just like, for an example, like it mirrors in the way of how there's everlasting love with a couple, and how they wear a ring on their finger because it's supposed to represent the circle, the finger ring, the ring on the finger, and it's a circle, is supposed to represent that it's never ending love. It's constantly, moving in this circle. Just like how the earth orbits the sun, it's never ending. It's like a constant thing. And in this description, it talks about how your connections with people and in your life are constantly repeating. It's never ending. And it's like it's like almost like your soul family. You're supposed to meet these people, supposed to live with these people. And in your next life, in your past life, it's like you're constantly living this endless cycle. Nothing ever really ends type mentality. I think this is also talking a little bit more about, could be possibly talking about marriage, like being actually married. It could also talk about just some sort of like, if you think about the infinity sign, it's like just the never-ending cycle of something. So something specific that, like, compliments that could be said behind pile three's back could be that maybe this person is marriage material, because we had the word accessible. Maybe they could be open or accessible to being married, like the word came out, accessible. So someone could be thinking about marrying pile three, could also just be thinking about proposing. There could be also, like, besides all that other stuff, this could also just be meaning like feeling very tied to somebody, like a soul connection, feeling like, meeting someone in a past life, or gonna have in their next life a connection. It's like there's like never-ending cycle. So if that's something specific to you, pile three, you may want to pick pile three. Okay, let's hop into pile one. Hello, pile one. If you chose the Bardo as well as this thumbnail, this will be your reading on what are some compliments being said behind your back. So I'm going to shuffle some of your cards on camera for you. I know some people like to see those. I also have some oracles. I'll lay out your oracles after I shuffle your cards. So we have this tarot deck. We have the Ask the Witch tarot deck here. I'll show it to you real quick. This is listed on my Depop if you're ever interested in seeing this deck, if you want a personal reading. So let's shuffle this and ask a couple questions about what are some compliments being said behind your back, pile one. Let's see what we got here. Shuffle these real quick so we could channel for pile one, specifically for pile one in this reading. Cleanse the energy of this deck. Okay, so the first row we're going to talk about compliments about how people view your past or how you were in the past. 1, 2, 3. We got 6 of Cups. Aw. That's a beautiful card. This one, from what I remember of that card, it's more of like the inner child, like having a sweet inner child. Nice childhood, possibly. But we're going to get more into that, to be more specific. And then the next row talks about what people say about you when you exit the room? Like, what are some compliments people say when you leave the room? 2, 3. We have the Empress in reverse. Okay. What are some compliments about people say about how you treat others? What are some compliments that people say about how you treat others? 1, 2, 3. The Tower. You could definitely be someone who's easy to cut people off. Like people who are not serving you, you can definitely cut people off very easily. I'm definitely getting like a lot of Scorpio vibes just from like what I've seen with the Oracle cards I shuffled, but it could just be for some of you. All right, the next row we have compliments about your personality. What are some compliments about your personality? Pile 1, being said behind your back. 2, we have the High Priestess. It's another beautiful card. Next we have compliments about your goals in life. What do people think about your goals in life? 1, 2, 3. We have the Knight of Cups. And then we have, for the last row, how do people view your future? How do people view pile 1's future? 1, 2, 3. We have the Temptress. I keep saying Temptress. I mean Temperance. Jesus, Lord, have mercy. Temperance. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, let me move this light so you can actually see the card. I'm just adjusting the light so we could make sure that this is bright enough in here for you guys. Okay. All right, so those are the tarot cards we have here for you. I'm gonna pull out your oracles right now. Give me one moment. Okay, and then we have, the reason why I said Scorpio is because we got the Scorpion. I know this represents fire signs, but every time I see this card, obviously, like, of course you're gonna think Scorpio. We have Thoughts with my Oracle deck that I made. We have Mystery here. We have Teacher, the High Priestess. We have Notice. If you notice, it's funny that I literally just said notice. So the colors are repeating a lot. We have like a magenta coming out a lot, as well as the green matches up with the green of the dress that she's wearing. And then for the future, we have a fiery climax approaching. So I'm going to do a quick deep dive about these cards and get back to you in a sec. Okay, pile 1. So the first row is supposed to represent how people view your past. I think more specifically, some compliments about how people view your past is, I think you, they see you as someone who's very nostalgic, first off. You could definitely reminisce a lot about the past or past memories. You could also be someone who maybe had a lot of good childhood memories or like a lot of past memories that you may share a lot about or share a lot with. Like you always have like maybe crazy stories or funny stories to tell. People may like the fact that you're constantly always talking about past memories, like good past memories, or even memories you had with them. Like you may like send people like old videos of them or like just, you know, reminisce in the memories you share. I think also people see you as someone who maybe is very passionate. Like you could be someone who's very passionate about the past, or you could be someone who is very passionate in the past. I think in the past also there could have been a lot of, you could have been someone who's very competitive as well. Like maybe something specific about you in the past, you could have been very competitive. You could also have been someone who was maybe a little bit more isolated than you are now. I think people also see you as someone who maybe burned a lot of bridges, or someone who didn't really communicate that well about your feelings or your emotions, and a lot of the time maybe you would burn, or you were left feeling burned a lot by people. And but I think you grew into being better at communicating your feelings, because it specifically says like it's time to come clean about your feelings, so everyone can heal and you could get back to your usual fire yourself. So there could have been some sort of like past thing where you were able to finally communicate how you feel in order to like continue to look back at these memories. Like there was some sort of growth that happened in the past that led to better communication, especially when it comes to like the people you have made memories with. No one's perfect, and you're in order to grow relationships, you're gonna have problems with people, and you have to address them and communicate them in order to resolve them. And I think that's definitely something that you have learned. And I think a lot of people are very proud of you for learning, and could be very. I think a lot of people are proud of you for learning that. And I think it's like it's like you could easily turn back into your passionate, fiery self once again, and your fun, fiery self again. Um, I think with the next row, we talk about what do people say when you leave the room. I think there could be a situation where we have the Empress in reverse. I think you could be someone who's a little bit more authoritative. Hold on, let's see. Because it's in negative. I think you could be someone who maybe is a little bit more chaotic. And I think like more logical, like you're more less focused on like motherhood, like because the Empress talks upright, it talks about fertility and motherhood, beauty, healing, dedication, all these different things. But in reverse, it says laziness, excess, envy, sterility, like being sterile, like not being able to like give children or like have birth a child. And then it says chaos. So a compliment that people might say about you is that you may live for the chaos. Like you might like very chaotic situations, and it could be very funny to you. Like maybe that's something that people like about you, is like you're not someone that might get too serious in chaotic situations. It's more of like you live for the entertainment. There could be also some sort of like sense of like laziness, but it's more of like not being lazy, it's more of like taking time for yourself. Like I feel like you may thrive for, you do the best you can, and you may work very sporadically. Like it could be working very sporadically, or you could be a little bit more sporadic. Like you could be very dedicated, motivated in 1 second to put a lot of effort into something, and then the next is like, okay, I'm gonna take a break, I burnt myself out, and now I'm gonna take time for myself, and I don't care if this inconvenience somebody. I think there also might be a little bit sense of, I think you might be someone, because we talk about jealousy and thoughts, people may say like a compliment behind your back is that you may not step into jealousy. You could be someone who maybe avoids jealousy or envious behavior. Like there could be people who maybe like try to say things to like make you jealous or different things, and it's like you may not delve into that. And I think it's like you have a lot of you could be someone who used to be an overthinker, but it's almost like you were able to take control of these thoughts, and it's like you have positive thoughts now. You are thriving off of your thoughts, and you may be you could be definitely healing your thoughts and like having a better way of thinking with your thoughts. What else? I think you could definitely be someone also that doesn't really focus on like motherhood or starting a family, and it's more of like you're focusing on yourself, being a little bit more selfish, and not really like looking towards, stepping into motherhood or something like that. So that could definitely be something. I do think people also, compliments that people say behind your back is you could be very attractive. And I think a little bit more, instead of like, like people could see you as wifey material, definitely wifey material. But it's almost like you don't give wifey material like energy. Like you're like, okay, I'm not ready to get married. Like you could be someone who maybe likes to like fool around, or like I said, like the temptress, like you like could be very tempting, like very beautiful, very alluring. And you may not even try, just like it's kind of natural. For the next row, we have compliments of how you treat others. I think you could be someone who's definitely stepping into more of a mental teacher for others. You could definitely be a teacher, like literally you're teaching others about thoughts and about being just like about mindsets, about thinking about life. Like you could be someone who's like definitely a teacher, and teaches like a lot of wisdom towards towards others and towards your friends, and people might reflect a lot about that and compliment you about how mature you are, or how you teach a lot about others, or teach a lot to others. With the Tower moment and the mystery card, you could definitely be someone who maybe is not open about their personal life a lot. You could be someone who's very mysterious. You don't really give much away about your personal life, so people aren't allowed to like get into your business. I think you could also be someone who maybe cut ties a lot in the past, but maybe learned to overcome Tower moments, like with people, especially in relationships. Like you're able to overcome and like heal connections that maybe have hit rock bottom. The Tower moment, like you grew like a sense of maturity to forgive and forget. I think also we have renewal, higher learning. It's like you're learning like a higher perspective and like how to give forgiveness, being able to say what couldn't have been said, like better communication, especially in this transitional period. Like we had the Bardo, and that talks about being stuck in this uncomfortable position. And it's like anything is possible at this point. And I think you are definitely in a position where you are literally like able to do anything and everything. Like you have the power to do anything, and people are definitely noticing. And it's like a mystery. They can't see what's gonna happen next. It's like always something different with you. There's always something new with you. It's always like something interesting. And you don't even talk about it. People just gossip about it behind your back, like because they're always trying to figure out what you're doing, trying to figure out what you're up to, because you never talk about it. You're very personal. You're very to yourself. Could be a little bit more isolated. You keep your business to yourself. You don't let anyone get involved. And it's always a mystery of what new is happening with you. You could be very liberating also, like you're going through a very liberating period of time, and a renewal, some sort of change. I think you're always changing. I think you're such a transformable person. You're like a transformer. Because we have like the Scorpio, and it's like you could be someone who's getting very comfortable with being in an uncomfortable situation, and it's like there's just constant change always. You're getting comfortable with constant change, and it helps you grow so much faster. You could be someone who changes and grows very quickly. And obviously there's like a lack of balance, or there's a lack of balance and a lack of structure. Like there's a lack of, stability, because it's like you're constantly changing, and it becomes a little bit unstable and uncomfortable. But it's like you are becoming stable and comfortable with being in this very uncomfortable like this, this transitional period. Like, think about this. Like I said, they have a little description. I would show it to you if I had it. Let me see. They had a little diagram that was like, imagine there's a universe, right? There's a reality, and then there's another reality, and then they like morph into each other, and then it's like an overlapping, two overlapping realities. And then in the center is where you are. It's like you're in between these two periods, and it's very uncomfortable. It's very awkward, but you're in a period of time that it's like anything is possible because you are receiving so much information from the other reality as well as the new reality. And it's like there's so much, anything is possible in this position for you. And it's like instead of like, you know, fully just transitioning to this new reality and forgetting about the old one, it's almost like you stay in this transitional period and you get comfortable with it. You get comfortable in this uncomfortable situation in order to continue this growth forever. Like you're not like, okay, I'm now gonna, you know, stop this growth period and like be limited to what I know now. It's like you're still looking at the past. You're still holding on to the past and you're not letting it go. You're still keeping the past, but also learning from the future or learning towards the future. It's like, it's a very great, just way of growing. You grow a lot. You grow very quickly. You change very quickly. So I think that's definitely how people see this way of how you, this is how you treat other people. And these are some of the compliments people say about how you treat other people. Is that you are definitely someone who changes a lot, faces a lot of tower moments, and you're able to like survive through them. You don't let them like stop you. You keep going. You may cry a little bit. You're vulnerable about it, but you continue on, and you keep changing. You don't care. Like another tower moment happens, and you continue. You're very mysterious. You know, you could cut people off out of your life, and especially if they do you wrong. But you also know how to heal from those, to heal those connections as well, and how to rebuild those connections. The next row, we have compliments about your personality. You are definitely a teacher. Just immediately, you're a teacher. You teach others. You teach, not only do you teach yourself new things and new ways of thinking and new perspectives on life and having a very open-minded perspective, you teach others, you teach your friends, you teach your family, you teach your, you know, cousins, you teach everyone in life. You teach even, like, people you don't even know. You, like, say something and it opens their eyes to something. You're like, wow. Or they're like, wow, like that was a great piece of advice. And I didn't even think that, you know? Like you have a way of like almost talking in a communicating in a way that really helps people to start thinking. You know, you ask like specific questions that really help people to start thinking. And it's like you could be someone who has you're very wise person. And I think more spiritually as well. Like you could be someone who's very spiritual. I think you also have great intuition. You could be someone who like is really good at seeing the red flags in people. You could be someone who's very good at just predicting of like, or having great intuition about people or just like about situations. The High Priestess also talks about being more of like a religious or spiritual teacher. You may teach people some sort of religious or spiritual way of thinking, like maybe being more observant. Especially we have the notice card here. This talks about being more observant rather than acting. You could be someone who teaches the sense of being more quiet and being more observant rather than reacting or being sporadic or reactive. I think also you could be someone who, like some compliments that people say behind your back is you're definitely a teacher, and you may teach them to grow. You may teach them more about their intuition. You might help validate their intuition, like maybe they're, someone specific is like tapping into their more intuition and trusting their intuition, and you help them trust their intuition. What else? You could also be like a spiritual leader when it comes to, you may open people's perspectives. Like, I don't think it's like a religious, you may not even be like religious, but it's more of like, you help people understand a little bit more about like the universe or about like, you know, thinking more outside the box when it comes to their perspectives. Like, showing people about like, oh, what limiting beliefs are, or just like helping people like see past what they cannot see. Like you help people open their eyes to things that they can't see. Like you help people realize a lot of different things. because you could be someone who's very intuitive, and your third eye is like so opened. It's like you're almost like in the world of you know, the spiritual world, as well as like very grounded in reality. And it's like because you're so entwined in both, um you really help people open their eyes to the more spiritual realm, um and seeing things more spiritually. The next row we have, and I think those are some compliments that people definitely say, like they like, oh wow, you know, they said actually something really like interesting to me, and it really stuck with me, and they could talk about things like that. The next row we have compliments about your goals in life. I think you could be someone who's very observant, especially when it comes to your goals. You could be someone who observes like opportunities that come to you, and I think people definitely notice that, and they notice that you think very thoroughly, as well as observe very thoroughly about your next step, about what other, like you're like, they talk about the crow in this description about how the crow is very observant and almost like a little bit spiritual too. Like there's like worlds of messages around them that are being like, it says the world around us is rich with messages and potential. It's like there's so many different messages that you could take from your surrounding by being observant. And it's like you are very observant, and people see that when it comes to your goals. People are like, yeah, they're very observant when it comes to their new opportunities that are being laid out to them. Like they see and they choose, they sit with the idea. They're like, they observe and they're like, is this the right option for me? Should I do this? Very reflective when it comes to, very observant when it comes to your goals in life. And you may change goals a lot too. Like you could be someone who's like, this goal is not, you know, fitting for me right now anymore because of the big change that I've made in my life. This isn't serving me anymore, and you may release it and create a new goal in your life. Or you could be constantly achieving goals, like from being so observant that it's like you're constantly creating new goals for yourself. I think also you may also create very realistic goals as well for you. The Knight of Cups, let me see. Where's the Knight of Cups? The Knight of Cups upright is idealism, good. You could be definitely someone who's very artistic. You like to follow your heart rather than your mind. I think also another thing too, because the Notice card is in reverse, you could be someone who's very observant, but you act quite quickly. Like you may think a lot about a certain situation, but because you're so observant, you're able to make your decision quite quickly. And it's because you already know what the answer is. You trust your intuition, and you trust what, you know, your spirit guides, or what your highest self is. You trust yourself. You're able to trust yourself and know how to make a quick decision about whatever paths that you are having to choose from. And it's because you're able to take in so many messages at once that you already know what the answer is for you. And I think that's another thing that people notice, is you could be someone who moves very quickly, and people may say like, oh, impulsively, but it's like you already know what's best for you. You may move very quickly for others because people may have to, like, you know, people might not be as aware of the messages that are being said to them around them, because like I said, their intuition might not be as open as yours. But because you're able to collect so many messages, you're able to know what's the right path for you. So that's definitely something that people notice, I think, and definitely talk about. And I think people also see you as someone who's very passionate, very artistic, very, very artistic. You could have a lot of artistic gifts. When it comes to drawing, it could be even like, you could be someone who really cares about animals. You could be someone who likes to draw illustrations. I'm thinking also like just, music, very like liking music, just like the creative. You may also pursue a lot of creative jobs, career paths. in order to pursue your passions rather than you may put your happiness and your passions first before worrying about like, you know, your well-being, like your financial well-being. And then lastly, we have for your future. I think people see your future, and your compliments about your future is what they say, like some compliments that they say about your future is you could be someone who, like, with the temperance, the temperance is very like upright, it's imbalanced, but because it's in reverse, this makes me think of out of balance. I think you could be someone who acts very that acts very impulsively. There's like an extremist. It talks about an extremist. And I think this is more of like, you take action. You aren't afraid to take action for things. You don't let things, you know, fly by or pass you by. You take action, and you're not afraid to take action. And people notice, they see you are definitely someone that's going to make it far in life because you take risks. You're not afraid to take risks. You could jump in with 2 feet. You could be someone who's very assertive, likes to assert themselves, and you're not the type of person to just like bow down or let someone else, you know, try to tell you what to do. You're the type of person that asserts yourself, and you take control of your life and take action. I think there's also some, like we have here, there's a very fiery, almost like inner child passion that we see coming, because Aries represents more of like a childish type of, and we have even the nostalgia here. There could be some sort of climax approaching you that could definitely be a very creative, child fun type of passion coming your way that could definitely inspire you and inspire your inner child and bring a lot of fulfilling success to you in the future. Okay, and I think that's definitely compliments. People are saying, like, people see that, they maybe be like, oh, I bet, you know, this person's gonna end up, I bet Pile One's gonna end up, you know, doing like this, and this, like becoming, you know, a YouTuber or an animator or a musician or just like not a typical type of career, just because you are so passionate and so driven and so determined that, and because you take so much quick action, you are able to achieve those creative outlets and creative activities. And people definitely see that. You're very assertive as well. You don't let anyone tell you what you can't do. Like, there could be a lot of people doubting you, and you don't let those people stop you. Like, you have people zapping these towers next to you to try to, you know, burn you down or crash your environment or, you know, turn your life upside down, and you continue on. Fucking shit is burning behind you. The whole, like, town is burning behind you, and you're still walking, you're still going on your journey. And it's because you are comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I think people are very proud of you for doing that. Everybody in your life. Okay. Now my beautiful pile 2. I meant pile 1. Maybe you should check out pile 2. I meant to say pile 1. We're gonna pull some messages. Let's pull some messages. Maybe we could see if who are some people that are saying things about you. Like, we can maybe get some cards to like identify who's talking. I think your spirit guides are also whoever's like leading you in your path. I think there's a lot of people here supporting you on your journey, like a lot of either the universe or like your spirit guides or any like past relatives. Or there's a lot here helping you through this journey. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Give us something, some sort of compliment. There could be a lot of people talking about you 24/7. I think you are the number one conversation. People are constantly talking about you. and it says people make mistakes. There could be someone specific talking about you, about maybe a possible mistake that you made in the past, or I think something specific. Okay, there could be a message that there could be some beef that you may have with someone that you may have cut ties off with, and you might be trying to heal that connection because maybe you realize that people make mistakes and that this is just, a person that you may have a lot of memories with, that you may want to rebuild that connection. I think also another thing too, this person might be doing the same, having the same thoughts about you as well. Like they may see that you're a person that you maybe made a mistake, and they are like, I want to rebuild this connection as well. And there could be a lot of people talking about you 24/7. Let's do 2 more of those because I like the yellow cards. 1, 2, 3. What are some other things being said? We have communication is key. Yeah, I definitely think you're a great communicator, and you could be becoming very good at communicating your emotions. You could definitely, when you talk, though, you could definitely be someone who's a little bit more logical and more assertive rather than compassionate. But I think you could definitely be finding more of a balance with that. We have C's get degrees. I think you could definitely be someone who's something very great about you is you're not someone who's going to kill yourself over, a project. You're not looking to be the best or kill yourself on perfection. You get the work done. You work smarter, not harder. You're not someone who's going to kill yourself over a project that, could have given you the same grade as a project that you just worked smarter than harder. Like you did the best that you could or the bare minimum, and you ended up getting the same grade. You're not the type of person that's gonna kill themselves over a project to be perfect, and then you end up getting the same grade you would have. You could definitely be someone who thinks more lazy, but it's not like you're lazy. It's more of you're not compromising your well-being, your health, your mind, your mental health. You're someone who puts your mental health, your happiness, your well-being before any work, which is such a great thing that people admire. People really like the way you think about life, especially with that. Okay, let's pull some more here. 2. Okay, what are some career things that people may say about pile 1? 1, 2, 3. Working in retail. You might work in retail, or you could be working in retail, or you might get a job in retail. More specifically in your career, maybe you do something for shops, you could be designing shops. You could also just be someone who works in a shop. You could also be someone who maybe markets for a shop or something something to do with retail. We have been working here for 10 years. You might work there for a while. Or you might notice, you may observe a lot of people who work forever at those jobs in order to excel as quickly or quicker than they did. For example, it took other people 10 years to figure something out, and you will listen to them, be mentored by them in order to learn what took them 10 years in a short period of time. You could be someone who works very quickly. 1, 2, 3. We have dresses appropriately for work. I think you could be also someone who doesn't really dress. You're not afraid to dress the way you want to dress. I think more of you're not afraid to have your tattoos showing. You could be someone who just wears a regular t-shirt, maybe ripped jeans. You're not afraid to dress a certain way to and people make complain or be oh, so unprofessional, but you don't give a crap. You're being yourself, and you don't have to dress so fancy to be. If people want to judge you based on the way that you look, you're more of a creative type, someone who dresses more creatively. You express a lot with the way you dress, with the colors, or with the tattoos, or the earrings, the makeup, and people definitely a lot of people may be like judgmental about it, especially the older generations, but I feel like a lot of new people, it doesn't matter because you still get the work done, you still create amazing work. And I think a lot of people congratulate you on that, and I think a lot of especially newer generations, more like people who are more liberating, like a lot of people who allow change into their life, could definitely see you as someone who's very like they look up to, because they see you are not compromising yourself in a workplace, and especially the way you express yourself. Okay, and then we have friendly. Oh, finding respect. I think you're someone who's definitely finding a lot of respect when it comes to work, and finding respect and being respected in a workplace. Okay, what now? We could see who are some of the people that might be talking about you or giving compliments. Let's see, who are some people that are giving compliments to pile one? We got someone who could be a YouTuber, could be giving you a lot of compliments. You could also be a YouTuber, possibly. 1, 2, 3. You may teach people on YouTube about like mental health, or about like different ways of viewing life, or psychology, or just like philosophy, even like maybe spiritually, teaching people spiritually. You may have a tarot card reading channel. 1. We have lover. You could be someone who's very loving, just loves everybody. You could be someone who's very loving, or just has a lot of love for everyone. You could be also, it could be like maybe people are questioning about who you are loving right now, like who is your lover. 1, 2, 3. And then we have wife. People may want to wife you up. People may be questioning who your wife is. People be questioning maybe if you are a wife, asking maybe like if you're engaged, are you getting married, things like that. Okay, quickly we're gonna do charms, and then that will be your reading, pile one. Let's pull some messages, some words that might be significant. Right? Let's pull some charms. CF came out twice. CF. There could be definitely someone's initials that are CF or FC. And it could be someone specific who's talking about you, and gossiping, like saying all these good compliments. Yeah, FC. CF or FC. Let's see what else. Let's see what the words we have. We have, irksome. I'm not really sure what that means. I think that's like when someone gets irritated, or like when something is like, oh, this is irksome, like this irks me. We have his. There could be someone that maybe you work for that might be bothered by maybe the way you dress, or just like by the way you constantly change, like change perspectives, or you keep growing very quickly. There could be someone that maybe is bothered by that, or irksome could also be, I don't know what that word means. I think that means like being a little bit annoyed, and it could be a male. We have golden. People could see you as someone who is golden, everlasting golden. You could be someone who's like, literally, it's like you shine like gold. Like you could be someone who's very like shiny, or shiny new thing, because you could be constantly changing. So it's like you're constantly like new. It's like nothing ever really gets boring with you. It's like constantly new things. I think also golden, like you could definitely be destined for gold. Like you're like a rock star. I'm thinking like a star. We have star here. We also have husky. There could be a husky. I also just thought a husky man, someone who maybe is like a little more husky. We have jailbreak. I just thought of, this could be like jailbreaking like out of a relationship. That could be something. Or getting away from a certain situation. We have a raven / crow here, so that could be definitely like a spirit animal. And we have bird came out as well, so birds could definitely be significant to you. We also have detail. It's in the detail. I think you could definitely be someone who's not so hung up on details of how like detailed something can be. And it brings a lot of success to you because you're not falling into perfectionism. We also have, this makes me think of to the moon, like a rocket ship to the moon. It's very fast progression. You're moving very quickly, but it's like a lot of success being done. We also have another star. It's like a black star. There's 2 stars here. We have Hello Kitty could be significant. And lastly, we have jawline. You could have a really nice jawline. People might talk a lot about your jawline. You could have like a very sexy jawline. Okay, thank you so much, Pile 1. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give this video a like. Also, we have this little like sewing thing. This makes me think of like, you might design clothes. I just thought of, you may design clothes, like retail clothes. You could be a designer. So yeah. Anyways, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give this video a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you in one of my next ones. Bye! Hello, my beautiful Pile 2s. If you chose the womb card as well as the thumbnail for Pile 2, this will be your reading on what are some compliments being said behind your back. So I have this deck out here. We're going to shuffle quick on camera. Pull out your cards. So the first row is representing how do people see or view you. How did people view you in the past? So something specific about how people viewed you in the past, some compliments about how people viewed you in the past. 3. You have the Empress. Next card is, what do people say about you when you leave the room? Like, what are some compliments people say about you when you leave the room? Okay. We have 4 of Pentacles. Next, we have, what are some compliments about how you treat others? What are some compliments about how you treat others? 1, 2, 3. We have the Chariot. Cancer. Okay. Compliments about your personality. Compliments about your personality. We have the Magician. Compliments about your goals in life. Compliments about your goals in life. Oh, this one's cute. I don't know if I should take this upright or in reverse. I'll take both. And then also this came in. So this could be a message. So I think specifically, something specific about you so far, we have the 10 of Cups and the 5 of Wands. I think your goal in life and what people compliment about your goal in life is, I think your future goal is to have a beautiful family, possibly a beautiful family with kids, you know, a wife or a husband or whoever. And there could be some issues with that might be coming out, and people might gossip about that. Like, there could be a lot of competition, a lot of rivalry, a lot of conflict, tension, maybe tension between you and your spouse or your partner. There could be a lot of tension. Maybe there's a lot of competition trying to fight for your love in order to take that position. So that could be something specific. Let's take the last card now. How do people view your future? How do people view your future? Pile 2. What are some compliments about people, about your future that people see and think? 2. We have the Fool in reverse, as well as 3 of Wands. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna put that with that. Okay, so Pile 2. I don't know if I just said Pile 1. I didn't mean to say Pile 1 if I did. Pile 2. So, for how people view you in the past, I think some compliments that people say about you in the past is that you could have been definitely someone who was very nurturing, very feminine, very fertile, like someone who was very abundant. Maybe you gave a lot to others. Maybe you were very giving, very loving, very nurturing, very feminine as well. Maybe you had a lot of very feminine vibe to you. And just in that reality, it's more of like you're more soft spoken, or more just a like soft, kind, compassionate person who maybe gave a lot of love out. I think there was a lot of growth. You may have a lot of accomplishments, evolution, a lot of change and action. I think there was a lot of change that happened in your past that people maybe gossip a lot about, or give a lot of compliments about you, is that how far you've came and how far you've come. I think something specific when it comes to your love life, because we have the Venus. So you were a very loving, nurturing person when it came to your love life, and maybe there had to be a lot of growth in order to become a little bit more authoritative when it came to that. Like maybe, for example, asserting yourself rather than being bulldozed over. That could have been something specific, because we do have the Cobra, and in reverse that talks about a little bit about being a little bit egocentric. And basically it's saying like there could have been some sort of ego built, some sort of protection walls built that you made in order to protect yourself, because of maybe there was some people pleasing that was happening, that maybe you gave too much away. And in order to protect yourself, you built up a wall, built up an ego to protect yourself. I think people definitely maybe compliment a lot about how far you've grown and how far you came, and how you were able to protect yourself and become stronger and like assert yourself more and be more authoritative. But I think something else specific is people may talk about your ego. People might talk about you may have a big ego, and people see that you are very, like, you could be someone who's putting yourself first a lot. Like you put yourself first. It's almost like, this reminds me of like the dark feminine a little bit. It's like she's not sacrificing any part of herself. She's putting herself first, everything she needs first, being more selfish. And whoever comes in her life, whoever exit out of her life, it does not matter. And that could be leading to like why there's a lot of competition. There could be a lot of people fighting for your love, and that could definitely be something that people talk about in the past about you. I think something specific, like a word of advice that I think your highest self and maybe like spirit guides or whatever is trying to find a little bit more compassion, being a little bit more, bring back this nurturing, loving energy you had. You were, just because you were vulnerable, you were kind, you were loving, you gave so much away, doesn't mean that, and just because how someone else reacted and maybe took advantage of that, doesn't mean that you should hide your vulnerability away, or hide who you truly are and your kindness away. You should still be able to be vulnerable and wear your heart on your sleeve. And if the person reacts in a negative light, just remember not to give that person your heart away anymore. Start giving your heart to the people who matter and the people who respect your heart, and treat you right, rather than, like, you shouldn't be hiding your heart away for the people who give their heart to you. Bring compassion for those people. I think that's a piece of like advice. And I think that's another thing that people may talk about or may say, is like, you could be someone who has like a very hard exterior, and it's mainly just because it's a way of protecting yourself from possible hurt that you may have had. And I think a lot of people do talk about that. I think you may also struggle. What people say about you is, people might say that you may struggle with self-protection, like protecting yourself, being very, like I said, hard exterior. You have a very hard exterior. I think a lot of compliments people say about that is that you're very strong. You became very strong. You were forced to become very strong. You may have endured a lot of past stuff that made you strong. And people definitely compliment a lot about that. It's like, you don't take shit from nobody. You may cut ties very easily. You may shut people, you close the door in their face. You don't care. Like, you're looking for a specific thing. You're looking for a specific kind of respect and way to be treated. And that's maybe why you have a lot of competition. I think something that people may say, though, is you may fall into a bit of greediness or possessiveness when the person ends up not being exactly what you thought they would be or turned out to be like. I think another thing too is falling into more of like a little bit of manipulation when it comes to, and like with the people pleasing as well. So for example, being very possessive type of love, like possessing the person and making them be what it is you want them to be, rather than loving them for who they truly are and their flaws, and the things that you may not like about them, you know, and being able to work that out with them. I think there could be some sort of element of control and possessiveness, like wanting to possess a person and have this person in your life rather than loving them and letting them do whatever makes them happy. So that could be something specific people might say behind your back when you leave the room. And I don't think it's as a way of judgment, as a way to like upset you. I think it's just something that maybe they might notice that could possibly help you when it comes to this situation, when it comes to your ultimate goal of finding happiness, of having a loving marriage, of having a beautiful, loving connection with someone. I think there's a lot of limiting beliefs when it comes to, you know, romance and love that might hold you back a bit. And I think people definitely may talk about that or discuss that in a room once you leave. I think also another thing is, I think you're very loving. You could be someone who's very loving, very, such a loving, kind person. And I think it was like, people just hurt you too many times. You know, people just have took advantage of that too many times. And that's what's led you to this path. That's what led you to this position. But, I think you're taking the great course. You're taking a great course of action, like you're going down the right path. I think there just needs to be a little bit adjustments made in order for you to be more successful towards your goal. So for example, bringing more compassion to others rather than, you know, just because you're hurt, it's like hurt people. You need to resolve that hurt in order to not hurt others. And people that maybe don't even deserve this hurt, you know, people who may treat you right, are trying to treat you right, and you end up hurting them because you're hurting inside. There's a lot of things that may need to be resolved with that. And I think you're definitely on the path of doing that. You're definitely on the right path, and people see how strong you became. They know that you need to find like a balance with it, you know. People see the transition you made to this strong, powerful person. You stopped, you know, the people pleasing. You stopped giving too much away. You became more selfish, and you became, you're putting yourself first. But it's also, you need to be able to put yourself first, as well as being able to be loving and compassionate and nurturing still for the other person. There needs to be a balance between the masculine and the feminine. So it's almost like you were in the Empress. You were in the like severely divine feminine energy in the beginning, and then it's now you flipped to the other side. You became more of this divine masculine, and it's like extreme masculine, almost like possibly a little bit like a bit toxic masculine, out of just protection of yourself. And I think make the adjustments to find like the balance between the two, of the feminine and the masculine. Okay, so what are some compliments that people say about how you treat others? I think something specific is, I think you may help people with their anxiety. I think you have a lot of great teachings. I think you may have a lot of great teachings when it comes to your past love lives, or past love. You may give great advice of like the signs, the red flags you may have seen. You could definitely teach a lot of people about like what you've experienced. But I think that, like I said, there might still be some limiting beliefs when it comes to past hurt that might be clouding your judgment. For example, like saying, something specific that some people say that I hear is like, oh, all men are dogs. That's a limiting belief, because not all of them are, but because you maybe have experienced someone who was, you just project that all of them are like that because you still have that hurt, that pain. And that could be something that might need to be adjusted. And like, Listen, don't get me wrong. Um, Everybody has their things, you know? I think this is just a message that needs to come and be said. But anyways, so we'll drop that and we'll go back to the compliments, because you deserve compliments, because you are rocking and you're doing great. I think you definitely like to help others. I think you definitely like to tell and teach people the best you can, and teach people like whatever you can, whatever knowledge you know, whatever the best you're doing now, whatever it is you know, you try to always spread your knowledge and let people know like the best you can. I think also you could be diving into more of like trying to be a little bit more compassionate towards others when they express like maybe their issues. For example, like your friends might come to you and be like, hey, like, you know, I'm dealing with this. And instead of like thinking very logically about it, you may try to just hear them out, listen to them, and bring them some emotional support rather than giving them a solution right away. That could be something also specific that I think people are starting to notice about you, and they definitely are giving you a lot of compliments about that. Like they might feel very warm, very loved after having this conversation with you. I think another thing too is a compliment about how you treat others. I think you're very direct. You could be someone who's very determined, takes a lot of action. You could be someone who definitely speaks up for yourself, have a lot of courage. You could definitely be someone who walks away from a situation. It's like you could be someone who thinks very thoroughly about what to do in the situation, and you like act on it. So like you may speak up in the situation and speak respectfully and determined. You don't let people, you know, walk all over you. But then you also know like, hey, maybe I should walk away from the situation and take action to walk away rather than engage. I think also the anxiety card in reverse makes me think of like you're not afraid to do something, and you might in the instant have like a bit of anxiety to do it. Like you may have some fear about it, but you still do it anyways. And people might congratulate you about a lot about that, is because you're now starting to stick up for yourself, and you're not letting people like bulldoze you. You are sticking up for yourself, and you're not letting fear get in your way anymore. With the next row, we have compliments about your personality. I think something specific is we have action, creation, manifestation, power, self-confidence. I think you are growing your own self-confidence. You are growing your confidence in yourself. Like I said, becoming more selfish, putting yourself first. You're not caring so much about what people think. You're not caring so much about other people's opinions. You're putting yourself first. You're putting your wants, your needs first. I think you also have a lot of willpower, a lot of skill to put these things in action. It's almost like you have everything on your plate in order to move in this direction. Something specific, though, I think when it comes to giving advice towards others, or the way that you believe, or whatever this is that you're manifesting in your life, or whatever it is that you're trying to create, or has been passed on to you, like some sort of knowledge, I think you may scribe, you may write it down, and you may repeat it. Like, for example, like copying, like you may copy someone else's idea or thought, and you may share it to others. And I think something specific is that you may want to start creating your own like your own identity. I think like becoming more truly yourself and figuring out, who are you? Asking yourself, who am I? What do I like? What don't I like? I think people that could be something. I think people see you are taking action and figuring out who it is you are and what it is that you want in life. And you're not, you know, plagiarizing, you're not copying, you're not trying to be somebody else. You're trying to be your authentic self, and you're not taking shit from nobody. You are like being your authentic self. And you're not, you know, trying to be Tiffany or something. You're being yourself. I think the next pile, we have your goals in life. I think people see that you are, you know, reclaiming your energy towards yourself. You're not, you know, you're not putting away so much energy for other people. You're putting the energy into yourself and loving yourself. Especially with it, when the compassion as well. Like, I think there could have been like a loss of compassion in general towards yourself and others. And now you're starting to develop more compassion towards yourself as well as towards others. The more you love yourself, the more you can love others. And I think that's what's going to lead to your goal of being able to be happy in a fulfilling marriage, as well as with your kids, having a healthy relationship with your children. and being able to be the provider, the one that can love them to the fullest. I think also just reinventing yourself, reinventing the structures in your life, being able to break down whatever isn't serving you anymore in your mind, in your heart, anything that is left there causing you pain, you're able to like tear it down and rebuild a new garden for yourself, to pamper yourself, to love yourself better, and be able to provide a loving space for others as well. For example, your lover or your children, which is such a beautiful message. And people see this goal. People see this goal that you're building. People see this goal that you are chasing after. They see that you want to be this loving parent or loving partner, or someone who feels very fulfilled in a union, in whatever is fulfilling your emotions, whether it's a family, like maybe healing your family life. It doesn't even have to be that you're getting married or starting a family. It's like you could be trying to heal your family, or whoever you consider your family, like healing a relationship with someone and having this beautiful, harmony together and happiness together. And people see this, and people compliment you for really putting in the work and taking over your life and putting, really taking control of your life. Lastly, we have the goals about your future. So what are some goals that people see about your future? I think they see that you're taking a step back and opening your eyes and really looking at the bigger picture, instead of like holding in and being so. If you think about like looking, like for example, pretend you're looking through a view, like a viewfinder. The closer you look, like the closer it is, like the more it's hard to see what's surrounding the view you are seeing. Like for example, when you're looking so close at something and you're very close to it, all you see is that, but you don't get to see the environment, whatever is surrounding it, that can give you better messages or better information in order to gather a good perception about what it is you're looking at. So the further you move back, the further you're able to gather what is happening around it, in order to like really learn and receive these messages, in order to make a good decision and have a good perspective of what this is. I know that was very like conceptual, but in a way, like you need to be able to step back and really see what else is playing a part in this situation. You need to not limit yourself in a small view, a small perspective, and open your mind up to the surrounding influences to see the bigger picture. So I think people are noticing that you're doing that. People see that you are, ripping down these old perspectives, these old beliefs, these self-limiting beliefs you may have had that limited you when it came to looking at the picture. And I think also another thing there could be a sense of patience. You could be someone who's patiently waiting on some sort of course of action that you're looking to take. You may want to take a risk, but you're not letting yourself, you may be feeling like it's a bad choice, or you're like worrying that it's a bad choice, and you're taking your time you're like preparing, you're progressing, you're trying to have some foresight about the situation and really see the bigger picture first before you take action. You're looking at the surrounding influences. You're looking at everything first before you take a course of action. And people see that this is very mature of you, that you're really taking your time with making this decision. You're not jumping in and taking this risk. You are, really trying to see whether this is the right thing for you. And I think if you are asking yes or no, we have 2 yeses here. So I think whatever decision you are trying to make, I think yes is your answer. Okay, now that we have that, let's shuffle some messages. What are some messages about some compliments for pile 2? I think people see that yes is like people are saying yes. People may think that yes is your answer. Like, I think people think that you'll be successful in whatever this journey is, and not to hold back. Like, people might be trying to encourage you to take to jump in with 2 feet. We have sticking up for yourself, getting loud, don't stoop to the level, talk back. Don't stoop to the level and talk back. But talk back and learn to walk away. Sorry, I read that completely wrong. But basically, speaking up for yourself. I think definitely people have saw that you've grown to start sticking up for yourself, and people are very proud of you for doing that. 1, 2, 3. Favorite food. There could be some sort of like favorite food that maybe you share with someone that maybe people are talking or gossiping about. Like, there could be someone specific that maybe you share a favorite food with. Maybe it's like fish, because we do have fish next to it. It could be maybe something that's like a reptilian, because we do have like snake, but I don't think people eat that, so I'm not sure. There could be some sort of like favorite food that you have with somebody that people might like talk about, and like maybe like talk about like the past memories you may have together, like a date or something, or just like eating that food together. 2, 3. They won't ever understand no matter how much you explain it. So there could be someone specific that is very close-minded, and you may teach others like, hey, just don't even, there's no point in even trying to change their mind, because they need to figure it out themselves. And that could be something specific that maybe you teach, that even you expressing that still doesn't help them, because they could be someone who's close-minded as well. This could also be a message for you, that people might think that you are close-minded and are not willing to understand their perspective. And maybe that's something specific, like, you don't have to understand their perspective, you don't owe them that, but it might help you grow further in your life if you're able to be willing to try to understand maybe where they're coming from. 1, and especially to find like forgiveness in some way, and bring more compassion into the situation. 2, 3. We have learned to appreciate the differences you have with people. That's what makes people special. So, for example, you may have a difference with someone, and you could be very like closed off and not willing to understand maybe their perspective. And what might help you grow is to appreciate the differences you have with people, and appreciate that people think differently from you, or have different perspectives or different opinions. And that might help you open your mind and open your perspective to other people, and that may help you grow in the future. Let's pull these cards. Let's pull some career cards, something about your career. 1, 2, 3. We have focus on my school first. You could be focusing on your school first, and like maybe not really focusing on the future. And this could be like, it's good that you're just, you're focusing on your school rather than worrying too much about the future, and you're focusing on the now rather than a possible decision you may have to make. 2, 3. It might also be saying like yes to the situation, as well as look at the bigger picture. We have burnt out, not lazy, relax, your health and happiness comes first. You could be putting a lot of work into your school, and it might be driving you a little insane, and it's saying like, hey, like maybe you need to prepare better for this, but also, take the time to relax and put your happiness and health first, and school comes second. Okay. 1, 2, 3. We have wants, working 2 jobs, struggling. You may be working 2 jobs, someone else could be working 2 jobs, and they might be struggling. Maybe your partner, maybe your future lover could be working 2 jobs and may be struggling. And let's pull one more. 1, 2, 3. New job coming your way. There could be a new job opportunity coming your way. And I think you may prepare a lot for it, but the answer to it might be yes, to take action. Okay, let's see who specifically is talking this gossip about you. Who specifically is talking about this situation that might be thinking this way about you. Specifically when it came to this could be someone who's a Pisces that might be thinking this way about you. When I talked about what they say when you leave the room, this could be something that they talk about when they talk about you. 2, 3. It could be someone who maybe is also a people pleaser as well as like very manipulative. We have performer. You could be a performer. We also have YouTuber came out again. 1, 2. We have empath, someone who's like maybe an empath. I could definitely get that energy from this reading. That fully fits. That totally makes sense. Because this gives me a vibe of someone who's very loving, very nurturing from the get-go, someone who cares a lot. We have babysitter. You could also be someone who has like a natural effect on kids. Like you could be someone who's great with kids, loves kids, or just like really likes to babysit kids. Or you could be thinking about kids a lot recently. Okay, let's pull your charms. And that will be the end of your reading, pile 2. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Pull some charms. Okay. We have initials. This could be KB. This could be S, an S name. This could be LU, could be initial. I just thought of Lucas. I also just thought of like Caitlin, Kyle, Bernard. I don't know why. S. I thought of Snake just because we do have a snake here, but this could also be like Sam, Samantha, different like S names. We also have S over here as well. We also have an M name over here as well. Specifically Sam, Sammy. Why? This person may ask like why. We also have a P here. Pisces could definitely. I just thought of the word like the name Patrick. I also just thought of people perfect. Something like that. We have are not. I think whoever this person is may be not thinking about your perspective about this situation. There could be someone that you're dealing with that might be causing a lot of harm in your life. Like there could be someone who maybe gossips about you behind your back. And I think they're not willing to see the differences that you may have about the situation. But I think you need to also, even if they're not willing to see your view or see your side, in order to forgive and forget and move on. And listen, forgiveness is not about them. Forgiveness is about you. Forgiveness is so you can let go of this anger, so you can let go of the pain this person caused you in order to move forward in life. And I think something specific is by trying to understand where they're coming from and understand why they may have acted this way in the first place may really help you find a way to let go of this person. We have the name Anthony here. Could be someone who maybe is gossiping about you. We have germs. This could be someone who maybe is very like cleanly, or like a clean freak or whatever it's called. We have control here. There could be someone like looking for control. Maybe you are trying to maybe a job can bring more control into your life. We have important control. I just thought of like pest control. We have doom. We have fun. This job could bring a lot of fun in your life. There could be some sort of doom. I just thought of like something might end because of it. We have homelessness. Maybe like unemployed, I'm thinking like YouTuber. We have bisexual YouTuber, or just someone who's bisexual. It could be someone who's homeless that's a bisexual who also maybe is a YouTuber that's talking about you. If that doesn't resonate, that could also be you, maybe. Doesn't have to be, though. We have crush. Your crush might also be talking about you. Where was this? I think this was like somewhere over here. This person could be like a performer. Maybe this person's very loud, very goofy, very outspoken. They could be someone who maybe talks about your, someone who's won't understand, maybe someone who can't understand you no matter how hard you try to explain it. That could be something, a message specifically about them, like that needs to be said to you. Could also be someone who maybe is very controlling, very possessive, more of like a possessive, greedy type of love here. We do have like overspending, greediness, possessiveness here. So that could be something specific about this crush you may be having, or a crush, someone who may be crushing on you. We have like a cat here. We have a Pegasus here. We have a snake. And that is all I have for you, pile 2. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give this video a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you in one of my next ones. Bye! Hello, my beautiful pile 3s. If you chose the ring card, this will be about what are some compliments people say behind your back. So funny how we deadass have the ring card that was depicted for pile 3, as well as the thumbnail. But this literally has rings and marriage on the picture. So this could definitely be a message about getting married soon. Maybe not married soon, but there could definitely be a topic of marriage being discussed about you in this reading. Sorry that this is like blurry. Focus on this bitch, please. Thank you. Okay. So there could definitely be a topic of discussion when it comes to marriage. So let's pull your tarot based on each row. Get the tarot about each one quick. This one is going to be very intuitive based. I'm going to try not to look at like any of the meanings. I'm going to go based on what I know of each card and go based on that. So okay, so the first row we have is, how do people view your past? How do people view, like, compliments that people say about who you were in the past, or compliments about your past, about your past. Okay, so 1, compliments about pile 3's past. 2, or how they were in the past. 3. We got Queen of Wands. Okay. That's a beautiful card. Definitely fiery, passionate, and you're a queen, too. You're a queen. There's some sort of leadership, authority, ship there. We're gonna get more specific, but I want to pull some more cards. We have the King of Swords came out. What do people say about you when you leave the room? Like some compliments people say about you when you leave the room. In reverse. Okay, next we have compliments about how you treat others. How do you treat others? Compliments about how other people treat you. 2, 3. We have the Emperor. You may invoke fear in others, I just thought. Compliments about your personality type. 1, 2, 3. Wow, you have like so many leaders. We have queens and kings, and we have the Emperor. Holy crap. That's crazy. I think this is the first time I've ever gotten that. Compliments about your goals in life. 1, 2, 3. You're very authoritative. Holy crap, we have the 10 of Cups, which is the marriage. Holy crap, pile 3. Holy crap. Jesus. Okay. Now, how do people view your future, pile 3? 1. Like, compliments people say about your future. 2, 3. King of Pentacles. What the fuck? Like, actually, what the fuck, pile 3? Holy crap. Look at, excuse me, Queen of Wands, King of Swords, Queen of Swords, King of Pentacles, Emperor. Like, excuse me, either you have multiple different personalities, or you just have so much powerful energy in you, and it's insane, and people are talking about it. Holy crap. I'm shook. Okay, so this could also represent the people who are talking about you. So for the first row, I'm gonna look up quickly the Queen of Wands. I know the Queen is like the feminine version of the Wands, which is like fiery passion. So, but I want to get a little bit more specific on the adjectives. I said I was gonna look anything up and I was gonna do it intuitive, but I gave up real quick on that. So Queen of Wands, upright, is creative growth, intuition, and passionate. I think you're someone who's very detail-oriented, with the mouse here. Talks about being very detail-oriented. I think you could also be someone who's quite fixated on being organized. You could be someone who has a great schedule. You could be someone who's like you like to be very detail-oriented, like very precise on everything that you do and everything that you, especially in the past, you could have been. You could have been someone who was fixed on details and trying to maybe even figure out the details about a situation. I thought of maybe even with your intuition. You could be very creative. You could grow a lot. You could be very passionate, and that could be the reason to why you're so detail-oriented and trying to get to the bottom of things. I'm kind of getting like with your intuition, maybe in the past. We also have like the black cat, which is a symbol of intuition, like spirituality, and good luck. So, and we even have like the sunflower here. There could be something significant about the sunflower, but it's like you could look up what that symbolizes. But in the past, you were very detail-oriented, very, you could have also been someone who maybe was a little bit more nervous, but it was because you had so much energy, and it was like so much passion, so much energy that needed to be released. And I think something else is you're very resourceful, you're very prepared. I think you're overly prepared for everything. Everything you do, you're prepared. And it's because you have such a great passion to be very detail-oriented, be on time, on the spot, have your ducks in a row. I'm getting like really putting your ducks in a row. So I think that's how people see your past, or how people saw you in the past. They could have saw you as someone who was also a little bit like nervous, and it's because you're constantly like maybe being like a bit of a perfectionist when it came to like your work or whatever it is that you were doing, maybe even yourself. The next row we have, what do people say when you leave the room? I think something specific is with the marriage card in reverse. This could either mean two things, but I'm a little confused because we do have 10 of Cups upright and then marriage in reverse. I think more in either present time or the past, you could have been someone who maybe focused more on an unconventional type of living, an unconventional way of living, like maybe not being married, or someone who maybe, I just thought of polyamorous, like it could be that. It could be on the extreme side of it, like that, or it could even be like not wanting to get married, focusing on your career, and not focusing on love. It could also be like maybe you were someone who has your option open, being single. Maybe that's something that people discuss about in the room, or discuss when you leave the room. We have King of Swords. King of Swords represents in reverse. I know this talks a little bit about manipulation. It says indecisive, cruel, abusive, manipulative. I think people might see you as someone who's very indecisive when it comes to your marriage, maybe like figuring out who you want to marry. There could be some sort of like, people might discuss that you could be like someone who's a little bit manipulative when it comes, like people may say or think that you might be a little bit manipulative, like a seducer. It's almost like you seduce maybe to get like, and to pursue, or not to pursue, to persuade people into like possibly getting what you want. That could be something. And like maybe it's a little bit like cruel or like a bit of abusive, or people may see it like that. Doesn't mean that it is. I think in some way though, this could be like people might be afraid of you, and it's because they may think that you're, manipulative, or that the way that you could be someone who's very seductive, or you could be someone who is like has a great personality, but it's like a part of them feels like it's too good to be true, and it brings them fear. There could be some sort of like fear invoked, like there's something that it's like they're worried that it's not real and it's just cruelty and abuse and like manipulation. It's like they worry that it's not real. I think another thing too is that might not even be the case at all. You may just be someone who likes to seduce, to like possibly to like for example, like play games. I'm thinking like play a lot of games when it comes to love, or just to like, get people to buy you drinks, or like and you may not even do it on purpose, but like people just for some reason think that that's the game you're playing, and it's like it's not even the truth. It's like you may be someone who just like likes to be flirty, or maybe something like that. I think another thing with this is, I think in some way people might see you as someone who maybe doesn't want to live a traditional life and maybe wants to live like a polyamorous, or like, have your options open, and people may be like, oh, like that's, they're indecisive about what it is they want, and they're like, oh, like they may like judge a bit. I know we're supposed to be talking about compliments, but I'm kind of getting like maybe some judgment where or they could be also just not judging you at all. Maybe they're like, maybe they applaud you for keeping your options open and not wanting the traditional way of marriage. Like you're not falling into the steps of like generations. You're not falling in, you like, that TikTok where it's like everybody wants this, and it's like, what if I don't want what you want? And it's like everybody wants this, and it's like, no, actually I don't want that. You don't want to live that traditional life. And people might congratulate or really appreciate, or might even be like fearful about that with you, because they're worried that in some way that might be some sort of manipulation tactic in order to manipulate. So it's like there's some sort of fear around that people may have. But I think also people just congratulate you in general for stepping outside of the box when it comes to traditions and not living a traditional life. I think with the Emperor and the fear that comes with how you treat others, I think you're very authoritative, and I think you put fear in people. Like I think people may fear you. I think people might fear upsetting you. People might fear being on the wrong side of you. People fear starting issues with you. People really are scared of you. And it might not even be like you try to be scary, but you just have so much authority that comes with you, and it's like you have respect. Like people respect you, and it's like, and people know like you may not even be like rude or like nasty, or like you're not like an evil dictator. Like you're not like one of those what is it, tyrant, like how tyrants like put fear in others in order to get their respect. Is like you are nice, compassionate, loving, and you do not like, it's like maybe you don't really start problems, but when people start problems with you, that's when you bring out this authoritative, don't fuck with me type mentality. And people are like scared of you. People are scared of being on the wrong side of you. And a lot of people put compliments as like, God damn, this person, nobody fucks with this person. Nobody fucks with this person. Like nobody fucks with you. And people are like, people compliment you as like, you don't let like other people try to mess with you or start crap with you. Like you don't take shit from nobody. And people, a lot of people compliment you about that. I think you may have some sort of Aries placement somewhere, because this represents Aries, and this guy has like a little like Aries head on his shoulder here. So that could be something significant. A specific sign here. You could be like delving into more of your emperor vibe. You may have a lot of masculine energy right now, which is causing a lot of authority to be displayed here. I think a lot of people compliment you on your authoritative energy. You're more of assertive. You're very assertive. You're very you speak up, and you're not afraid to cut, you're not afraid to, you don't allow people to fuck with you. That's just how it is. Like, that's literally what I'm getting. Compliments about your personality. We have the Queen of Swords in reverse. So with the Queen of Swords in reverse, we have cruel, distant, ambitious, emotional. So I think you could be someone, compliments about your personality. And I think it's like when people get to know you, you could be someone who taps into a lot of their emotions. You could be someone who, because we have hedonist. In the light attributes, you're upright. It's positive. You have a lot of creative energy. You embrace the good things in life. You appreciate the little things in life. You celebrate the beauty in yourself. You have like, you're so detail oriented. It's like you have such you maybe romanticize life. You maybe like, you see such beauty in the little things, and people may really appreciate that about you, is because you're so emotionally, you just put so much love and compassion into every little thing you do, and love and care. It's like you just inspire people. You radiate this light. You bring a lot of inspiration to your life. You have such like care for every little thing you do. And I think people really appreciate and just love that about you, is because you may come off cruel, you may come off distant, with this emperor, like to the people that don't know you, but the people that do know you know that you are not that. And people, they know you are this sweet, compassionate, loving person that cares so much about every little thing in this world. And people really find you fascinating. The next section here, we have compliments about your goals in life. I think some people may not be aware, like some people may see you as, temptress, or like possible, like someone who wants to be single, doesn't look for marriage, or you may deep down want marriage, but people may not know that about you. Or this could also just be people see that you're someone who really wants to get married, and people might see that as like maybe manipulative behavior, or people might worry. I think because people fear you, they may think you're just, abusive or manipulative, when in reality, that's not the case at all. It's kind of like, you're just like, this is what I want, and this is the happiness that I need. And just because you may put fear in people, not to mess with you, it's like they kind of like, they get a little worried that everything you do might be for another motive. You could definitely have a lot of like control in situations, and like I don't think it's like you're controlling, but it's like you're kind of given control, and people give this control to you because you are. It's not even like you ask for it; it's just given to you. So people may see like everything you do as a power play. It's almost like you're always doing something for some sort of reason, and I think people might be the reason to why they think everything you do might be manipulative, when in reality it's like you're just looking to get married. You just want someone to sit down and be happy with and love. You have this very golden heart that not a lot of people see. I think with your goals in life, I think you light up a room. Like you literally light up this darkness. You radiate light. You have a lot of inspiration. You have a lot of love to give. I think you also want this, you may want like marriage. One of your goals could be marriage, and you may light up the darkness that people may have when it comes to love. There could be a lot of like limiting beliefs, or a lot of like self doubt when it comes to love. And it's like you are able to brighten up this horrible view on maybe marriage, or maybe love, or maybe having a child. There could be a lot of like negative outlooks on those things, and it's like you're able to like make people realize that these things, these elements of life are beautiful and should be appreciated as well. Like these are parts of living that are beautiful. I don't know what your stand on this is, but this could be something that maybe you realize in the future, because maybe a lot that you were against marriage, you were against living a stereotypical life of like getting married, having a child, because of maybe there was a lot of fear that was surrounded that. Like maybe you had a lot of fear, maybe you had divorced parents, or maybe there was constantly divorces or like just failed marriages or just horrible families. And you're like, I don't want to live this. I don't want to go through that. I don't want to suffer. But maybe you start to learn that maybe this is more of something that it is that you want. You want this beautiful marriage, this beautiful family life, and to have kids and pass your generation. And maybe that's something that you may end up changing people's perspectives on that as well. That could be something that maybe people compliment about you, is like you actually have a goal to get married, to have a kid. Could also just be maybe if that doesn't resonate at all. I'm just saying, the reason why I say this is because we do have the marriage card, but this could also just be fixing your family, healing family lives, of being able to appreciate your family, and heal generational wounds, I'm getting. And trying to help, like that could be something specific that people see, that's like a goal in your life, maybe to heal your own family life. I think you also put a lot of light and work. You radiate anything you do. Anything you touch radiates with, it literally glows. It's like your touch is warmth, and it just brings such a light to everything. It's like such a positive influence you put on anything you touch. And I think a lot of people see that about the goals you have in your life. Like whatever it is you pursue, it's like you left a mark on it. You left a beautiful light on it. Because you're so, you put so much work and effort into everything you do. I think with the future, how people view your future, I think people are going to see you winning no matter what. I think people see that you're always going to win and you're always going to be on top. I think, like, especially with all these fucking authoritative figures here, like, holy crap, man. You're seriously on top. Like, you're not afraid to be assertive. You're gonna make it far, and people see you winning no matter what. You're not gonna lose. You're literally gonna win no matter what. Like, everything you do, it's like you are the best out of everyone. And it's like you don't even try. It just happens. And people just see, it's like you have this creative or just like this insane amount of like ability to do whatever it is you put your heart to. It's like you have just like this amazing talent to be great at anything you do. And people are definitely jealous of that, first off. But it's like people are just like, yeah, this person's obviously going to be successful. Like, clearly. Like, they already know. They don't even have to question that you're going to be successful. They know. They're like, yep, yeah, this person's definitely going to go far in life. King of Pentacles. We have power, influence, strength, abundance. You're obviously, like I said, you're going to have crazy amount of abundance in the future. You have crazy amount of power, strength. You don't let anything get in your way. You continue on. You continue forward. You continue this abundance. And you like have like this, like I said, this influence on things. Like, you may even have like a very powerful name. Your name might be very significant in the future. Like, people may remember you. People might seek you out, or like it's almost like you leave your name tag on things, and it's like your name, it's like lights up the project or whatever it is that you worked on. It's like you leave your impact, your influence on things, and you change people's, like, you also just add this like change, you add this like light, you add this radiating light to things. Okay, let's move on to your messages now. I want to definitely start talking about your career, because I feel like this is definitely career oriented. Obviously we have marriage, but it's like you have a balance between money and also family. Like, you have a great balance with that as well. And people are very proud of you and how far you've come. You are like fucking phenomenal. I'm not even joking, pile 3. Like, it's insane that you have this many kings and queens in your reading. It's like, holy crap, bro, what? you're very powerful. You're very powerful, and you're so, you don't even, I don't even think you realize how powerful you really are. And that's like, that's the crazy part. Like I think you may not realize, like I think you've already made such an impact on this world and you don't even realize, and you're like, I need to do more. And that's even like the shocking part. It's like you don't stop. Like you continue, and like you just go so far in life. It's insane. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna pull some career cards over here. Bitch, what the fuck did I say? Abundance. There's so much abundance. There's so much. People just see you being abundant in the future. People just see you being rich in the future. They already know. They already know. And I think there is a lot of destined abundance coming your way as well. Wait, let me. 1, 2, 3. We have respectful boss. I think you're going to be a boss. You may start your own business. You may have your own business. You may be a very respectful boss. You may be someone who people respect and people look up to and people like find, compassion with. But then it's also like you could be in a position. It's almost like the way you treat your surrounding people. It's almost like you are the boss. And it's so funny because you may have taught yourself in that path, like with learning how to be with these people that surround you, that it's almost like you became the boss. And like that experience of learning that helps you with being able to be a boss in the future for your job or your business or whatever it is you open or create. 3. I already found a lot of inspiration just fucking doing this reading. So we have insecurities. There could be some sort of insecurities that come with getting married. For example, like maybe I just thought of like being female. If you are a female, if it doesn't resonate, ignore it. But this could be something specific, is like you want to be this boss, you want to be this worker, you want to have this authority, this masculine energy. But then it's like maybe you're worried about getting married and that you have to, let all that go, or let that boss, career chase away, or let it go because you just have to, now take care of kids or something. And it's like, that's just your insecurity. That doesn't mean that you have to live this traditional way of living of having to be a housewife or something. You don't have to live that way. You could have a job and you could work, and it doesn't mean that your kids will be neglected or any of that. You can still work. And also there could be a house husband, or I know that's a very stereotypical, I just said heterosexual relationship, but like whoever your partner is can stay at home. You don't have to be like, and if they can't, then there's always other options. There's always another way. There's nothing wrong with getting a babysitter. There's nothing wrong with getting someone who can help out with those different aspects. Like you don't have to sacrifice your life or sacrifice your career in order to have a family. It obviously is going to be, a challenge, but you already conquered so much. You can conquer this as well. 2, 3. It's time to be more generous. I think maybe possibly being more generous towards yourself or towards your others as well. 2, 3. We have passionate for my career. I think you could be very passionate about your career. And we fucking love that. You should be passionate about your career. Anybody who's not passionate about their career is not living the right life. I think that's another thing, a beautiful thing I think about every time I think about a career, is if you're not happy, if you're not putting every little effort in because of how, it's not even like it shouldn't be hard to put in effort. Like if you're really passionate about something, you should be able to put in a lot of, hard work to make something as great as you can make it. Because that's the beauty of a passionate career. Like, for example, if you think about, because I do architecture for school, if you think about it, like, there's like all these famous architects that build these beautiful structures, and they put in the work. It takes them a long time. It doesn't take them a long time. They still have such a passion for it that they're able to create this beautiful structure. And and it's nothing to them. It's not like, it doesn't even cause them an issue. Like, they love to do it. This is their passion. And then, I mean, look at the other people who are building these crappy structures, these crappy buildings that all look the same, and it's like they have no passion in life. They have no purpose to create a beautiful structure. Everything should be beautiful. Why should there be anything that's ugly, or like an ugly building? Like you those people clearly did not care for their job. And like, I don't know. That's just my opinion, I guess. I'm jealous of your work efforts. I think people are jealous of how hard you work, or how great you are at whatever it is you do. Like, I think you have a natural talent for literally everything, and you may not even work hard. I mean, I definitely think you do, because we have like a lot of authoritative. But I think like even if you don't work hard, your work is still like fantastic. I know I'm doing a lot of career stuff, but take a vacation. You may need to take a little break for right now, because you may have like burnt out a little bit. That might be something specific. 2, 3. Really happy to work here. You could be really happy to work at a job, or you might get a job that you might end up being really happy to work at. People might also, if you start your own business, people might also be really happy to work at your job. Like your business. 2, 3. Passionately talking. There could be someone that you're passionately talking to that might be viewing you as maybe a temptation, I'm thinking, as like a marriage temptation. They may want to get married with you, but they might see you as someone who's maybe a little bit too good to be true. Or might have like some sort of manipulative tactics when it comes to something surrounding that. For example, like talking to many different people at once, and that might fear them a little bit. I think back to like what I was saying about the architecture real quick. Like, it doesn't mean that, obviously like things cost money, but money shouldn't matter for creating beautiful things in life. Like you shouldn't, like, I just feel like it should not matter whether it costs money or not. You should always be creating the best work that you can. And if it's not, and if it's like the bare minimum and you're just creating copy paste, building after building, you have no passion. You do not care. You should be creating beautiful things in life. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, 3. We got, they won't ever understand no matter how much you explain it. I think this is definitely a message. This kind of repeated. This came from another reading. You may want to watch another pile. I think it was maybe the last reading. But there might be someone specific that no matter how hard you explain something to about like marriage, they may not ever understand. 1, 2, 3. We have, don't assume because you make an ass out of me and you. There could be something that maybe you're assuming, or maybe in the past you assumed, or maybe something that people assumed about you that maybe was a little bit off. 3. We have talking to a mentor. I think people may see you as like a mentor, or you may be looking at talking to a mentor. Maybe you're talking to a therapist, or maybe there's somebody here guiding you, and that's something that people have noticed, like a compliment about, is that you are being taught, being teached through your journey. Okay, let's do some charms and messages, and then we'll be done with your reading, pile 3. I see the number 33. I've been filming for 33 minutes, so that's funny. Okay. It's funny because when I said passionately talking, I thought of passionately kissing. So this could be someone that maybe you're kissing. Okay. So we have a panda here. This could be something specific. Maybe pandas are significant when it comes to this person. Oh my god. Oh my god. You could definitely be getting your back broken by this person. Back breaking. They may literally break your back. They could also be a Scorpio. We have like a little bow and arrow. This makes me think of Sagittarius, and that could be something specific when talking to a mentor. Your mentor might be Sagittarius. We also have catcall. There could be like people afraid to catcall you because you maybe are just like so intimidating. And you may have like some sort of like masculine energy to you as well. We have aquarium. Maybe going to an aquarium might help you. You may want to go to an aquarium for like fun. Maybe that's like a little trip you need to take for yourself. We have hair. You could be passionate about doing hair. That could be something specific that you may pursue that people might be jealous of your work efforts with. We have a letter T. We have O. That could be initials. We have goose. There could be something specific about saying goose. I just thought of geese. Indigestion. There could have been some sort of stomach problems, some sort of indigestion happening. Joy. We have joy. Happiness when it comes to like the Ten of Pentacles, like this marriage. We have a little flower. We have a little Tinkerbell, like a fairy here. We have a little Aries. This makes me think of Aries every time I see this. I see a plane here too as well. Like this makes me think of traveling. You may be traveling soon. We have firefighter also. There's some sort of firefighter here. Firefighter might be significant. Okay, thank you so much, Pile 3. I hope you enjoyed your reading. If you did, please give this video a like and consider subscribing. And I'll see you in one of my next ones. Bye!